I'm going to do a card reading for 2026 for the True Movement. So for all you conspiracy theorists out there, or should I say conspiracy realists, for all you truthers, spiritual people who are into the Truth Movement, who see through the lies, see through the BS in the media, this is a card reading for 2026 for you. And it's just a general card reading for the Truth community. Next week, I may do a more in-depth card reading, with different cards. But this is just a general card reading for the Truth Movement for 2026. What is going to happen? What can we expect? So I'm just doing this, just from the top of my head. It's not scripted at all. Let's just dive into it and see where we get. So welcome to my channel. My name is Jens Mathieu. If you don't know me yet, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So I'm just going to shuffle the cards here. And let's first ask a general question. What is 2026 going to bring for, the Truth Movement? So the people who are, I would say, awake to what's really going on in the world. Of course, there's different levels of awakening, but let's keep it general. Let's, the people who know what, who see through the matrix, so to speak, the matrix they want to create for us. So I'm just going to pull a random card here. And I'm feeling this one here popping up. So let's see. So let's start with this card. So this is the first general card. And it is, I don't even know what it is yet. I'm going to show it to you guys first. It's the Magician. Oh, that's very, very positive. Creative power, skill, adaptation, originality, self-confidence. So this is, one of the best cards we can get as a starter for 2026. You can make your imagination real. So the imagination, it's a major arcana card, so it's a very positive one. Associated with, with the element of air, Mercury, communication. So this, to me, says that, 2026 is going to be a very positive year for the Truth community. Maybe the things we've all been, waiting for, that, breakthroughs we've all been hoping for, the truth being seen more, the truth being revealed more. And I feel like it's going to happen. And also, I know there's a very special conjunction happening astrologically, I have to say, a very special astrological configuration happening around June 2026. And I've heard my wife Meg as an astrologer, and I've heard her talking about it, where Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto and stuff is involved. And it feels very... A person asked me the question on my live show 2 days ago, and I feel it's very positive. And then I asked my wife, and she also confirmed that astrologically it's a very positive conjunction. So astrologically, it's showing too. It's showing in the stars, actually, that this is going to be a positive year. Of course, we may have shocking revelations. As always, there's always, the dark cabal is working, and they want to, subdue humanity, keep us locked into this limited perception, to this matrix of limited perception. But what I'm feeling here is very positive. So what I want to say is this is a card for the overall team. So the overall team is going to be generally positive. I'm going to go more specific into different subjects. And what I first want to ask is, what are we going to see in relationship to the UFO phenomenon? So the acknowledgement of the existence of extraterrestrial life. Of course, there's people working for it for decades. For example, the Disclosure Project for Stephen Greer. Recently, there was a new movie out, which is called The Age of Disclosure, which has gotten a lot of press, which surprised me. But there's people saying that The Age of Disclosure, it doesn't say anything really new, and it kind of spins the narrative. And I haven't seen it yet. I should watch it. But I've heard people saying that it kind of spins the narrative that, the aliens are hostile, which I think is part of the PSYOP, and I've spoken a lot about that. I did a video, you can see it, I will link here in the description. I did a video on, how they want to fake an alien threat. I did a video on that a few months ago. So, we got to be very careful of news coming out about, hostile aliens, because I think that's part of the military-industrial complex's plan to, create a space race and, make us fearful again, fear of the unknown. I mean, how many Hollywood movies have we not had about aliens invading us? And of course, we know they control Hollywood. So to, basically, predictively program us to make us scared of these things like Independence Day, and all that stuff. While I do feel the majority of extraterrestrial life and interdimensional life, because it's of course much more than that, much more than just purely physical extraterrestrial, I feel is positive. Of course, you have negative ones. It's like, the external threat, Even Reagan said it. I said it in my video. even Reagan said it, how easy their job, their world leaders' job would become if an extraterrestrial threat united all the countries in the world, right? That's what they want, right? To create a new world order where there's a one world government and then we're all fighting against the aliens together. How would they love that, these people, right? Like the external threat, like a virus, the external threat of a virus. It's always that of terrorism, right? So me, it's a genocide. So I'm gonna pull a card on that. What will be here? What are going to be the developments for the truth community in relationship to extraterrestrial life? So I'm gonna again pull a random card here. Let me see, and I'm feeling this one here. Let's see. This one, I haven't seen it yet. Let's see. The Emperor. Ooh, another major arcana. Very, very interesting. This is a very masculine card, obviously. It's associated with the fire sign, with action. So also, can be war. It's generally positive. Victory, ambition, control. What I'm feeling with this card is that there are people going to try to control the narrative. Like in a very masculine, warlike approach. That's what I'm feeling with this card. For me, this is definitely confirmation that things are going to happen. I mean, with the Age of Disclosure that's being released right now, which people say has military-industrial complex influence, is the disclosure will continue. I mean, even Steven Spielberg is, promoting this new movie called Disclosure, and Steven Spielberg is, I think, at least, he's involved in Hollywood, so he's being maybe used for the agenda, maybe. So what I feel is that they're gonna come out full force and try to sell us our narrative. I feel in a very masculine way, like a very masculine. Masculine is science, right? Like feminine is more intuitive, and masculine is science. So I feel like the Emperor card is we're gonna get disclosure in a way that it's very materialistic, in a way that it's very like in a masculine approach, not like in a feminine approach. So I think it's going to be very physical. Like there's going to be more information coming out, but it's going to be very scientific, masculine, rational. So it's not going to be that feminine. I feel that feminine side is going to come more later, like the intuitive side, the more multidimensional side to the phenomenon. That's 2026 is going to be, I feel, revelations really on the scientific field, and people coming forward as the expert on it. Whether we have to believe them, that is another thing. Always use your discernment. I want people to be aware that this is going to be, they're going to try to control the narrative. And I think the Emperor card is kind of saying that a little bit, and describing the general energy behind it. So it's a fire. There's different things are going to be moving. Big things are going to be moving. And I feel like somebody will step forward as the authority on it. They will try to establish themselves because he's sitting on his throne. The Emperor is sitting on his throne. They're going to try to establish themselves as the authority. Very, very, very interesting. Another thing for the truth community is, last week I did a video on, the jabs. So if you're interested, watch that, where I talk about, when is the truth about the jabs going to reveal? But that's a question I wanted to ask, but actually I already did that in my video of last week, so check that out if you want it. I want to pull a card also because I know I have a lot of people watching me from Europe and the United States. Let's pull a card for the North America, so Canada and the US. Now let's pull a card for all three, because, I've been to all of the three countries and I know most of the public is in all of the countries. Sorry for the people from, India or Australia that are watching it. I can't do all the countries, but let's see here. So I'm first going to pull a card for Europe. What's going to be the card for Europe for 2026? This is interesting me too, because of course I am from Europe. I'm staying in Canada a lot, but let's see here. So I got to turn it around so I don't know what cards I'm seeing. So here, let's see. I'm feeling this for Europe, but just purely intuitively. This card. So let's see for Europe. Judgment. Ooh. Yeah, I feel like this is also again a major arcana. Also a fire card, Pluto, intense. So themes of this card is awakening, purpose, reckoning, self-assessment, atonement. So I don't see this necessarily as a negative card, but I see this as, as a reality check. Europe is going to get a reality check. That's what I'm feeling. So there's an element of, one of the themes of this card is awakening. There's an element of awakening to it, but there's also an element of self-assessment, reckoning. So this is not necessarily, people are saying, especially in the media, like Europe is that, Europe is that. I'm feeling it not that negative, but I'm feeling Europeans will have to come face to face with some facts. It's like judgment time, answering the call to action creates new opportunity. It's like, it's time to move. It's time to see something. So I think this card's saying also a lot is going to be dependent on the people of Europe and how they react. I mean, I've seen in Hungary, for example, people came on the streets and got rid of the EU, the pro-EU government, which I think is a great thing, because I don't like the EU one bit. I mean, the EU as Europe is not the EU. Europe is the continent, the people of Europe. Europe is not the EU. I don't like the EU one bit because they're totally created by the elites. They're part of the New World Order. And I've talked a lot about it in my book, A World in Transition, where I really lay out the history and how they're connected to the global New World Order elites, the cabal, like they call them. So I'm feeling this is like, I don't see this as a negative thing. I see people in Europe waking up more and more, like we see in Hungary now, getting rid of, protesting against the pro-EU government, reckoning. This is like the reality. This is going to be what I feel. This is a reality check, and people will have to act accordingly. But I don't see this like as the end of Europe. This card doesn't spell like a really negative thing to me. Anyway, let's move on to the United States. Let's keep Canada for last. Shuffle them. Okay. Let's see here. I'm feeling this one. This is for the United States, the Page of Pentacles. Also quite a positive card. And Pentacles, is associated with more the material realm, the earth. Ideas, opportunity, eagerness, curiosity, diligence. So the page represents a kind of, like it's the beginning of something, opportunity, eagerness, courage, ambition, loyalty. So I'm feeling this is also a positive card for the United States. This is good. Also reflecting to me a new start. And maybe, there's going to be some serious shifts in the political landscape in the United States. This might be signifying it too. Like there's going to be like a fresh start. And, people have been saying maybe, J.D. Vance is going to take over. Trump is going to be, for some reason, resign for some reason. And then the vice president will become president. People have been talking about that. So, and, the Pentacles is the earth, it's the, government structures. I feel like big shifts also in the United States. This is a different energy than, for example, with Europe. With Europe, it's really people have to come to terms with where they are and act accordingly, I feel. And for the United States, I feel they're like a step ahead, which they mostly are, because it first happens in the States and then it comes to Europe. This is not negative, opportunities, eagerness, curiosity. So there's a lot of potential here too. So yeah, that's fine for me. Let's move on to the next. Okay, now let's see what we get for Canada. Just shuffle here. Okay, let's see. What is 2026 going to bring for Canada? I'm feeling this one here. So this one, which is the 9 of Pentacles. Very interesting. So 9, it's represents completion, accomplishment. So 9 of Pentacles, again, associated with earth, with the earth, accomplishments, inheritance, reward, satisfaction, luxury. These are very, all these cards are kind of in the same ballpark, but with like a different slant on it. The Page of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles, we had the Judgment for Europe, which, which it seems like Europe is going to have to have the most work, I would say, in 2026. Because in Europe, people are going to have to, answer the call to judgment, so to speak. But with the energies seem a little bit lighter for the United States and Canada. I'm feeling even though with the current economy you wouldn't say that, but I feel like the Canadian economy might take a turn for the better with the 9 of Pentacles. And of course we're asking it, for the truth movement too, right? So satisfaction, so sense of completion, also very positive card. So I'm not into doomsday, and even the cards don't say doomsday, because people every year in the conspiracy community, and I've been in it for like 21 years, and every year in the conspiracy community, next year is going to be so bad, and it's going to be, this and that. But even when it's bad, it wasn't so bad. The pandemic was really bad, right? And nobody really could predict it except a few people. And even then, we made it through. We made it through. And I don't feel it's going to be like another 2020. Of course, each year there are intense things that happen. Each year there are intense things that happen. But I feel like the general, there's a lot of fear mongering trying to get the vibrations down, right, in the conspiracy community. We have to be careful with that. A lot of people saying, "Oh, next year it's the economy is gonna crash, and there's gonna be this." I mean, and people latch onto it because fear sells. Fear sells in the mainstream media, but fear also sells. If you got a fearful headline, people will click it, and that's some people do it for the clicks, right? Fear, 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 fear. Also in the conspiracy community, I'm not feeling it with these cards. Even for Europe, from whom people say it is so bad. Even for Europe with the Judgment card. Yes, for Europe, it seems like more, but it's not negative necessarily. It's not negative. It's also opportunity. I'm seeing in every card there's opportunity. Judgment. It's answering the call to action. There's a call to action. So in Europe, yes, there's a call to action. People are going to have to do something, but it creates new opportunities. So every card is about opportunity. This one also. Well, for Canada, it's even more about I would say for America and Europe, it's more about opportunity. With Europe being more like people have to do something, but with Canada, it seems like self-care, reward, satisfaction, luxury. So the economy might take a turn for the better in Canada. So anyway, that's that. Very interesting cards, and I'm not feeling really negative. We gotta as truthers, as people who are aware of this, we have to allow ourselves to be able to feel the positive, right? Instead of sometimes all that negativity that is being pushed on us. I think I'm gonna leave it here where we're through, and it's all the cards were very positive. Even the first card, the Magician for the Truth movement. Of course, every year, the dark cabal that's still in power wants to create shocks. Every year there's shocking things happening, but the overall energy is we're going into lighter times, and we have to credit ourselves, reward ourselves for that, and credit ourselves for that, and stop giving into the negativity. I did a channeling a while ago, and I shared it on one of my videos, that channeling a year ago, where the beings of light that I connected with said to me, "Do not get into doom and gloom scenarios because they are a waste of time. The divine process is unfolding. The divine process of more light coming onto it, of awakening, is unfolding." And so I feel that the cards are showing that. So we don't have to get into doom and gloom. It is a waste of time worrying, right? It is a waste of time. So it's a very positive read, in my opinion. So I'm very positive and very hopeful for 2026. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you like my videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I do 3 videos a week, 1 live on Sunday, 1 card pull on Tuesday, and then 1 video where I talk about conspiracy and metaphysics on Thursday. So be sure to subscribe to get notified of these videos. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.